Twists. What do we know about them? How can they help us? Today in class, we'll explore lots of different ways to twist our bodies and why the heck we would do it in the first place. Okay, so why do we want to do twists in the first place? I often hear people, and I've seen it even in articles, this whole idea that twists and yoga will detox us. And it's usually connected with something like, well, if you had a long night of drinking the night before, go do some twists at a yoga class. No, not so much. There's not a direct instant correlation like that. Some twists involve compression of our organs and our digestive organs. And with that, with the release and the increased blood flow there, you could argue that the organs start to function more efficiently, thereby eventually, detoxing. But it's not so quick and easy like that. We definitely want to do it though. And I would say that every time we twist, thinking about massaging our digestive organs, more important to remember that we're practicing in our bodies what we can practice in our lives. So think of the small intestines mining for nutrients. What can we take in? What is nourishing? What is good for us? And our large intestine getting rid of what we don't need and who we don't need, what projects we don't need. So there's the actual digestion, mining for nutrients and getting rid of waste, and thinking about the hundreds of decisions we make during a day, whether it's what do I have for breakfast? Do I have waffles or a grapefruit? Is this something I want? Is this nourishing, or is this something I want to get rid of? To big decisions, regarding projects we take on, jobs, and people in our lives. The reason I'm waving this thing around is it's a great, my daughter's lanyard here, a way to show the other benefits of twists. We get to increase our rotational flexibility. So twisting the spine gently on its axis creates a little more space, and we're putting some healthy stress in our connective tissue and the joints. If we don't do these twists, we're just losing range of motion, especially if we're seated, hunched over all day long. We just get deeper and deeper and deeper in that. You see, as some people age and don't move, they start to hunch more and more and more. And twists just help prevent that from happening. And also just helps our range of motion. We're in the car, we want to be able to turn back and look out the rear window, right? Are we turning like this? Our cervical spine, our neck is the most flexible, but then we can get stuck right there. If we're practicing, we can twist deep from the very base of our spine and see a lot more. It's just one example of a million practical things that we can benefit from. So let's get started. We'll experience lots of different twists, both thinking about our digestive organs and this, what is nourishing, what is depleting, what am I taking in, what I want to get rid of, and also just these purely anatomical, physical benefits of twisting the spine and just keeping the spine healthy. Let's start out on our hands and knees in this tabletop position with hands right underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees under the hips. And our cat-cow, which is so fantastic for our spine and a great way to warm up. We should do these every day, just for maintaining our mobility. So we inhale, draw the heart forward. You can press down and back with the hands. Gum the hands down into the mat. You feel like you're pulling your sternum forward, lifting the crown, lifting the tail. Exhale, press the floor away and spread the shoulder blades across the back. Chin comes towards the chest. On our inhales, again, pulling the heart through between the arms, lifting the tail. Exhale, as we press the floor away, feel that shoulder blade spread. We're actively drawing the navel up towards the spine, strong core. Slow down your breath. Close your eyes now. Set this into motion. And gently constrict the throat. So we can start our Ujjayi breath. Sounds like wind through trees. It's just like fogging up glass in a mirror, that, but we do it with the lips closed. All through the nose. So this helps slow down our breath It helps heat us up from the inside, and because we can hear it, it keeps us connected to our breath. All of a sudden, when we stop hearing our breath, we know that we've stopped breathing. So we're moving nice and slow, eyes are closed and rolled up to our third eye point, our drishti, our gazing point. So this also stimulates the pituitary gland. Make sure your eyes are rolled up so far, not that it's uncomfortable or furrowing the brow, but you do feel a gentle pressure around the eyes and forehead. Let's do 3 more of these in silence. And let's meet in a neutral spine. Keep the eyes closed here. Tune into what little nooks and crannies are craving attention. I assume you're at home, alone, or with someone you trust. Who cares how you move? Just let it go. I'm not even going to give you examples. Don't look at me. I want you to tune in with what the body is telling you. This is just like when you wake up first thing in the morning and your body just starts stretching around. It's not like you've told yourself, this is the series of stretches I'd like. I'm going to move my arm here. No, you just can't start stretching. That's what I want you to do right now. We get to practice in yoga listening to our body's signals. There's no TV to distract us. Sometimes there's music. And we get to say, oh, okay, I hear you, body signal, and I'm choosing to react to it right now. Our body never ever lies. Just keep moving. Just keep letting the body tell you where it wants to go. Our body knows when it's hungry, when it's tired, when it's scared, when it's excited, when it's full, and we tend to just ignore those signals a lot. But the more and more we can practice listening, the better we'll get out in our daily lives, noticing the signals, the truth that our body is giving us. Let's come back to a neutral spine now. And take this right arm, thread it underneath the left, and bring the outside edge of the right shoulder down to the ground. Right ear rests on the ground. Our first gentle twist. You can extend the left arm long or keep it right here where it was, arm bent. Let's soften into it at first, so we're not really engaging anything. You may notice a little cracks in the back. If you'd like to deepen it a little, you can press down into the outside of the right arm. You can raise that left arm up. Stay there, reaching long. Or you can bring that hand at the small of your back or even reach for the crease of the right hip. But know that anywhere along that way, you can stop. And that's true for any yoga asana. There's always a place to stop along the way to a full expression. Press down into the left hand, come on up. Let's switch sides, left arm threading through underneath the right armpit. Checking in here at this first point and deciding if we want to stay here, if we want to reach that right arm up. And listen, again, we're still listening. If we start to take it to the next step, and our body says, that doesn't feel good, that feels a little tweaky, that feels a little scary, just stop there. The greatest reason, or the biggest reason for injury in yoga, and take a break. Give your wrists a break now and just come back into child's pose. So knees and feet together, backs of the hands resting on the floor for a moment, and know that this is a position you can always come into at any point during any yoga class, no questions asked, for any reason, emotional or physical. But it's important to note that injury happens in yoga most often. There are some other reasons or pre-existing conditions, but most often because of the ego. And it's with the ego, telling you to go, or you need to look a certain way in class, or you want to prove something to yourself. It really just is another way for us to listen to our body And it's not enough to listen to our body. We have to listen to the ego. So listen to both. What are the thoughts coming through? This is all of meditation. This is our opportunity to elevate and grow. Why come in here and practice yoga just to injure ourselves? Or just to like push, 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 and I want to work out. No, yoga offers us so much more. Come back onto hands and knees. And slide the knees back a little, bring the hips down. So we have the straight line from head to knees. Know that anytime we do a push-up in yoga, you could bring the knees down and do it just like this. Keep the elbows in nice and snug to the ribcage as you lower down. Extend the legs. Squeezing the legs together, toes pointed, fingers line up with the tops of the shoulders, tips of the fingers. We'll start with our chin on the floor and inhale, lift up, just using our back muscles, squeezing the legs together. Exhale, lower down. Eyes are closed again and rolled up to the third eye. And the reason why I always incorporate this into my classes is because it's so important for our spine health. Twists are important, but extensions are equally as important because usually we're sitting during the day, which is terrible for our backs. So this is increasing our core strength. We're taking our spine in the opposite direction that it's been in for most of the day. It's healing and preventative maintenance. So continuing to move up and down with the breath, using the whole long inhale to ascend, squeeze it at the top, squeeze the legs together, and the whole exhale to descend. If your body starts to tell you, I'm craving a little more extension, your spine starts to crave it. Then when you get to the top, you can't lift anymore, then press down into the hands. Only going as far as it feels good. Let's do a few more in silence. And then press back up into that tabletop. Your hands should be a little in front of your shoulders now. That's fine. A little wider base for down dog is fine. Tuck the toes under. Lift the tail like we're in that cow again. Draw the low belly up towards the spine, so below the navel, kind of locking that pelvic tilt in. Big inhale here. And on the exhale, lift the tail, press the floor away. And we can even keep the knees bent on this first down dog. Walk the feet in if you need to. We're drawing the heart back towards the knees, and our chin tucks up, giving yourself a double chin. This massages the thyroid. Pressing down into the whole hand, nice and even pressure across every finger down into the knuckles. And imagine that you're trying to slide the thumbs towards each other. You'll feel your deltoids, the tops of your shoulders, activate. This is nice and protected truss support for our shoulders. Now, what's going on with the hamstrings here? Let's not worry about it right now. Let's keep the knees bent. Keep lifting the tailbone, and gravity is working on the heels. Inhale, look forward and send the right leg up to take the place of the right hand. Our back knee rests down carefully. Untuck the toes and bring the palms together in front of the heart. We're pressing the knuckles of the thumbs right into that notch in the sternum. Soften the hip muscles and see if the hips can rest down a little bit more. But let's be careful with this. If your hips are really tight, we're taking this slow. Again, always watching out for those little signals our body is telling us to slow down. Re-engage by anchoring the top of the left foot down into the floor. You'll feel this left hip flexor. Maybe feel a little more intense of a stretch and anchor down into the right foot. Press the sternum into the thumbs and lift those hands up just with the sternum. Take a big inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll twist to the right, just using the muscles in our core. We have no leverage here, nothing to push against. Just noticing that range of motion, but continually pressing the sternum up into the thumbs so we're not crunching into the low back. You'll notice there's not that much range of motion here. Just gently exploring. Then reach the right hand back to grab the left thigh. Left arm comes up and over the ear. Now we have that traction, then we have the leverage. This right hand easing in. If the spine is craving a little more, we can engage the right arm, pull on that right leg to deepen the twist. Our gaze is down the nose, so just beyond your nose, something on the floor. You might even see your tops of your cheeks or the side of your nose in your peripheral vision and feel a gentle pressure on the forehead. That's the goal when our gaze is down the nose, stimulating the frontal lobe. Let's inhale both arms up. Exhale, hands down. Gently shift the hips back and straighten the right leg. We can always bring blocks here under the hands to give us longer arms. If you have any low back problems or slip discs, definitely be up in the block so we can keep the spine tall. Actively pressing the heel down into the floor, imagining we're trying to drag the heel back towards our right hip. So right hip crease guiding back. I feel a stretch right here. I don't need to come down here. It's fine. So there is no shame in using blocks at all. Keep flexing that right foot. Really press the right heel down to the floor. Feel the glute and the hamstring activate. Now let's walk the hands over to the right, and the outside edge of the right foot drops down. You should feel something in the outside edge of the thigh. I'll turn just so you can see a different angle. So our IT band, still flexing the foot and pressing down into the outside edge of the foot to engage the muscles as we stretch. We're always trying to strengthen as we stretch because long, weak muscles are prone to injury. Long, strong muscles are what we're going for here. We can take this twist, so we got a little spine twist here at the same time we're working the IT band. We can reach that right arm up, maybe take a look at it. If that feels too intense on neck, shoulder, or low back, skip it. You can always start, ease into it, see how it feels, and say maybe not today. Walk the hands back to the front. We'll press into the right foot and step this back foot in about a foot. So now our feet are about 3 feet apart, and we can be up on blocks. We're walking over to the right, this same twist that we just did on the floor, and our toes, I'll show you from this side, our toes swivel with us. Now when we get here, rearrange, we can be up on blocks here. If our feet are so wide, you can see this, that the inside edges of my feet are pulling away from the floor. Walk them together and press down into the arches of the feet. You can let the crown drop here and soften down if that feels safe on your low back. And to deepen this, if this is not enough of a twist, anchor the left hand down on block or floor, reach the right arm up, take a look at it, eventually getting our eyes onto the right thumb. That's our drishti. If that's tweaky on the neck, find a point on the ceiling as high as you can go, keeping the gaze steady. Inhale and lengthen the rib cage out away from the pelvis, drawing the crown of the head forward. Exhale, bring that arm down. Let's carefully bend in the knees and sit down. And look, we're all ready for Ardha Matsyendrasana, for a twist. Our right hand comes down at the base of our spine, like a little kickstand. Left arm reaches up. Inhale, exhale, bring the elbow over the knee. So again, we have all of these places where we can stop. We can stop right here, looking over the right shoulder and down the nose. See the tops of your cheeks or the side of your nose. On the inhales, we press down more firmly into the right hand to lengthen the spine. On the exhale, strong left arm, maybe helping us twist deeper. The core is involved as well too. So imagine the arms are here to help us. The core has to engage to hold us going in this direction. Now we have another option. We can reach down and reach for this foot. This could be very uncomfortable for your elbow. Skip it. You also have the option of threading the hand underneath the thigh. You could reach back and bind. So it would look like this. If you practice this regularly, go ahead and do it. If you're exploring it for the first time, do it ever so gently. So here we are. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, untwist. Reach over, twist to your left, and anchor the hands down on the mat. Press down into the right foot. Untwist. And we're here in this wide-legged forward fold. Again, we can have blocks under the hands. If you do have blocks, walk them back. All of us without blocks, we're walking our hands back so the fingertips line up with the tops of the toes. Inhale and lengthen, draw the crown of the head forward, and exhale, come down if that feels okay in your low back. Otherwise, stay right here and press down and out with the feet. You'll still feel a beautiful stretch down the backs of the legs. Otherwise, fold forward, and when you get here, if your hips feel open, you can always explore bringing the legs a little wider. The crown of the head is reaching towards this line that we've drawn between our two big toes. Rolling a little weight into the toes, aligning the hips with the ankles. All of us are continuing to press down and out with the feet, like we're trying to spread the mat between our feet. This is engaging those glutes, engaging the quads, lift up on the kneecaps with a nice strong base. We'll inhale, come up, walk the hands right underneath the shoulder. Right arm anchors down, left arm lifts. Here we have another twist. Notice how we can both use the arms to help us twist, but our core does not get forgotten. Again, imagine we're floating here. We have to use all the muscles in our core to bring us in this shape. Look up and see the thumb if you can. Exhale down. Inhale, right arm up, look up. Feel this twist happening from the very base of our spine. Press down into the left arm and squeeze the shoulder blades together. That right shoulder reaching back in space. Exhale the arm down. And let's heel toe the feet together carefully. Start to bend the knees until the feet are just wider than the hips, and we'll sit down in Malasana. We can always bring a block or two right under the hips. And adjust the legs until you find the right spot. So if you notice that the heels are coming up off the ground like this, it's likely that your feet just aren't wide enough apart. Or you can bring them wider and then bring that block underneath the hips. Pressing the palms together, press the elbows into the inside of the knees to deepen this. But again, listening to the body, being nice and safe. Press the sternum into the thumbs. Lengthen the spine, drawing the crown of the head up as we rest the hips down. Now let's reach the right arm underneath this right knee. So we're trying to lean down a little bit and get the shoulder under the knee, reaching the arm long. Left arm comes up and look at the thumb. We could stop here, breathing long and deep, our Ujjayi breath. Or we could bend the elbow, rest the hand at the small of the back, or go ahead and reach for that right hip crease. We could also let go of this right hand, reach back, and grab the left wrist, taking a bind. Anywhere along the way, we're finding what our body is craving and what it's needing today. One more long, deep breath. Feel the ribs spread and get wide despite this twist that we're in. And then gently release. Slowly unwind. Bring the left arm underneath the left shin. Try to work that shoulder down and under. Right arm comes up. Look up at the right thumb. Breathing through the nose. Slow, slow, slow breath. Deep and complete. Squeezing out full exhales. And we have that choice, taking the bind if we want, reaching the right arm back to grab the right wrist. Or we could just rest that right hand at the small of the back or reach for the right hip crease. We're just taking this whole practice, all asana practice, all meditation practice, as an exploration, always with curiosity. Slowly unwind. Lift the hips a little and heel toe the feet together. So they're all the way together, knees together to touch. Squeeze the knees together and we'll lift our chest up. So here we are, sitting on our heels. Squeeze the legs together even more, draw in that low belly below the navel. Turn again. And our pelvic floor, all the muscles, the 20 muscles at the base of our pelvis, around reproduction and elimination, lifting up into the body. So low belly, pelvic floor, squeeze the legs together, all helps us with our balance. Now slowly, as we gaze down the nose, so find something on the floor, we'll slowly twist, starting from the very base of our spine. Again, we'll see that the range of motion is a little limited, so we're just using our core. Then bring the hands down to the outside of this right hip. The elbows are touching hip and knee. This left knee wants to start to guide forward, so hug the left hip crease back. And look over the right shoulder. Press the left elbow into the knee to accentuate that lengthening, creating more space between the bottom left rib and the left hip. Look over that right shoulder and down the nose. Feel that gentle pressure in the forehead and around the eyes. And if this is something you practice normally, side crow, you could take your side crow here. If you want to explore it, it's the first time, I would say just start to play with shifting the weight. And it's a little scary because your face is coming towards the floor. You just have to trust yourself. Eventually, you get to the point where the feet just come off the floor because you've found that balance point. It's more, I think, some fearlessness than it is brute strength. But this is not a clinic in inversions, so just enjoy this nice stretch. Now keep the hands there. Extend that left leg, extend the right leg underneath, left arm up. We're here in our Vashisthasana, looking up at the left thumb. Know that you can always drop that right knee, press into the left pinky toe, squeeze the hips up. Either way, we can even extend the left leg out. We can, whoop, little wobble, grab that big toe. Either way. Look down, left hand down. Let's drop the knees very gently and slowly walk the hands out, bringing the hips down, coming into seal. So slightly different extension. To adjust this, our hands come away from the body. Our spine says, I don't need that much extension. We bring them in towards the body to increase the extension. Keep guiding the feet together. This protects us from overextending in the low back. Press down into the floor to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Gaze down the nose. Take a big inhale. And exhale, press into child's pose. Knees and feet are together to neutralize the spine. And let's slide our hands back by our hips, palms facing up, resting the shoulders down around the ears. Take 5 deep breaths here. Feeling your belly press into the thighs on your inhale. And feeling that softening there on the exhale. Bring yourself up and back to that tabletop position. We'll do the left side now. Let's tuck the toes under, lift the crown, lift the tail, coming into cow again. Lock that pelvic tilt in by drawing in low belly. Inhale here. Exhale, press the floor away, lift the hips. Chin tucks in right away, and we can play with how much we straighten the legs. But know that it's this tilt here that we want to maintain, rather than if we straighten the legs and start to round the back, then we're not getting all the benefits. So chest draws back towards the knees, press down into the whole hands, imagining you're drawing the thumbs towards each other. Let's take 3 deep inhales here, that nice Ujjayi breath. So constricting the throat gently, you'll hear it in the throat, but the breath is through the nose. Feel the rib cage get really wide, especially the back ribs on the inhale. We're maintaining that Engagement in the low belly, lifting up towards the spine, but it doesn't constrict our breath. And on your next inhale, look forward. Left foot takes the place of the left hand. Back knee drops. Untuck the toes, coming into a low lunge here. Palms together. Pressing the sternum up into the thumbs. Lifting the fingers up with that lift of the heart. Anchor down into the top of the right foot. Press the floor away with the left foot, even as we let the hips sink down a little more. Staying nice and lifted, we'll inhale and twist as we exhale to the left. There's that smaller range of motion. Feeling a nice engagement in the core. It's doing all the work to help us twist. Then left hand reaches down to grab the thigh and right arm reaches up and over, looking down the nose back towards the left shoulder. Using the strong arm now to help us go a little bit deeper, all the while right rib cage lifting up a little more. So there's still lots of core engagement. We're not relying purely on the strength of the left arm. Inhale, release. Come back center, hands down. Exhale into our Ardha Hanumanasana half splits. I'll show you from the side that my hips are right over the knee. We have a 90-degree angle here. It doesn't come way back here. But we're dragging the heel back towards our hip. We're letting this hip, it has a tendency to lift up like this. We're going to let it settle down and guide that right hip crease back. Strong engagement of the heel pushing down so we engage that hamstring. It protects us. There's a lot of hamstring injuries in yoga. But if we find some engagement and strengthening here, engagement in the glute, that can really help us. Drawing the crown of the head towards the big toe. Let's take one more breath here, filling out the back body. Big, complete inhale. Exhale completely, drawing the navel back towards the spine, squeezing it all out. Then inhale. Oh, we're going to go over to the left. I almost forgot. Outside edge of the left foot comes down. We're finding this IT band stretch. And we can take it that one step further if we like. Left arm reaching up, looking towards the thumb. Feeling a twist happen in the spine. Not relying solely upon that right arm. Nice engagement in the core. One more breath here. Keep pressing down into the outside edge of that foot. Dragging that left hip back in space. And arm comes back. Walk the hands forward. Shifting onto this left foot, we'll slide the back foot in a little bit so the feet are about 3 feet apart. And walk the hands back over to the left. Our toes swivel. And we can readjust the feet so that our insteps, our arches of our feet can press down into the floor. Feel free to walk the feet a little bit closer if necessary. We can stay here, let the crown drop, enjoying the stretch in the hamstring and IT bands. We can take it one step further, left arm reaching up. Our gaze, our drishti on that left thumb. Press down into the right hand. Draw the crown of the head forward. Feel the swivel of the rib cage. And exhale a little bit deeper. Bring the hand down and we'll slowly bend the knees. Sitting down gently. The left knee pointed up. Our left foot is on the outside edge of the right foot. Give you a different angle here. Left hand down at the base of the spine. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale. Bring it to the outside edge of the left knee. We're gazing over the left shoulder and down the nose. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Use that strong left arm. And on the exhale, right arm, a little more engagement in the core. This beautiful twist of the spine. And it's in this kind of situation where we're compressing and massaging our digestive organs. So again, think of what are we bringing in, what is nourishment, and what can we let go of? What is depleting? Inhale, look back towards the left toes. Exhale, release. We'll bring the hands over on the right side of the body, press down into the feet, and we'll turn back up. We're in that I'll turn back towards you. We're back in that wide leg forward fold. Right hand down, right underneath the shoulder, left arm lifts, look up. Take 2 breaths here. Keep pressing down and out with the feet. One more breath. Trying to spread the mat apart between the feet. Exhale the left hand down, reach the right arm up. Really pressing down with the feet gives us that strong, grounded base. It's engaging all the muscles in our legs, our glutes. It kind of anchors and straightens out our hips. One more big inhale. Exhale, right hand down. And we'll heel toe the feet again. Back to a little wider than hip width distance, sitting down into our malasana. This time, we won't do that twist again. Let's try something different. We'll press down into the feet. Feel that engagement as if you're about to stand up. But we don't. We just feel the glutes engage. So see what it takes to press down into the whole feet. Lift the toes up, maybe gum them down a little bit more. And on our inhale, we'll stand all the way up. You lost my head. Exhale. Gliding down, one smooth movement on the breath. Let's do it one more time. Inhale up, spread the arms wide, look up between the hands. Exhale, sit back down. Hands come down, let's heel toe the feet together again, and we're sitting on our heels again. I'll turn this way this time. So to find that balance, let's squeeze the knees together. Palms together in front of the heart. Nice 10 pounds of pressure in the hands, mimicking the pressure we have between the knees. And this time, now that we're revisiting this, we may notice it's a little more familiar. Squeeze the knees even tighter. Lift that low belly, lift the pelvic floor, and see if we can lift the hips just a little bit off the calves. Just a teeny tiny lift. Crown of the head reaching up. Keep squeezing the knees together. Come down, look to the left, hands come down, we have elbows pressing into hip and knee. Looking over the left shoulder, really pressing into the right elbow, anchoring that left knee. Draw the right knee back in space, that right hip crease back in space, keeping them aligned. You can stay here and enjoy this stretch. If you want to play with the side crow again, start to shift the weight forward, eventually working towards all the weight just on the knee, but a little cheat just to play with it is to let the hip rest on the elbow as well. We can play with that a little bit, just not even getting the feet off the ground, just starting to build some trust as we let our arms bear a little more weight. Then extend the legs straight back, and we have a choice of dropping the knee or 2 legs straight coming into the side plank. Find your drishti, your gaze. Keep the eyes nice and still on the thumb. And then maybe lifting that right leg. Maybe grabbing the toe. Or staying right here in stillness with our nice long ujjayi breath. Exhale the hand down. This time, let's come onto our forearms. I'll scooch around. Forearms are parallel to each other. One modification is to interlace the fingers. That's a little bit easier. Forearms down. Imagine you're dragging your elbows towards your toes, and your toes are dragging towards your elbows. Find a whole new level of engagement. One big inhale here. And on your exhale, lift the hips, walk the feet in a little bit. Crown of the head is just hovering above the floor. We're in dolphin. Keep lifting the tailbone skyward. Heels relaxing down towards the floor. Nice chin tuck, chin to neck. One more big breath. And exhale, slowly float the knees down and slide them back. Carefully coming into Sphinx. So we're just resting here on our elbows. Draw the toes together, let the heels flap apart. Close the eyes, roll them up to the third eye, and just soften the breath here. They're still deep and complete, but moving a little more freely, a little softer, not as powerful. Feel the belly pressing into the floor, that gentle, comforting pressure on the inhale and the softening you feel on the exhale. Then open the eyes and slide the hands back by the low ribs. Press yourself up carefully. Cross at the ankles and sit back. It's just one way to get on our backside. Scooch forward back onto your mat if you need to. A little play with twists in our boat pose or Navasana. Start by grabbing behind the thighs. Pull on the thighs and you'll see it helps guide the heart forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together and keeping a nice straight back. As we lift the legs, actually don't even think about lifting your legs. Just tilt back a little bit off the tailbone, or I guess onto the tailbone, and the feet will come up automatically. And we can play with lifting the feet from parallel to the floor. If we feel like we can maintain the straight spine, we're not compromising it, and play with straightening the arms. Press on the gas pedal with the feet. So it's like being in a high heel shoe. Pressing the balls of the feet forward, toes come back towards our face. Imagine as you have a steering wheel here. You're pulling on the steering wheel to draw the heart forward. You can always play with straightening the legs a little bit more, or even try one at a time. Let's find one more deep breath here. And slowly lower down, hands slide back right behind the hips, fingers pointed towards the hips. Point the toes, Purvottanasana. Press down, heels and hands to lift the hips up. Head drops back a little. You can either let it go completely or just draw the ears back over the shoulders. Pressing down into the entire hand. We have a tendency to kind of cup the hands. Let's press down into the base of the knuckles, down into the heels. Eventually the pointed toes are touching the floor. Lift the heart. One more breath. And exhale, come down. Let's go right back into that Navasana. Now we know this balance point. Palms come together, if that feels all right on the low back. And let's inhale, twist to the left. Our elbow may hit the leg. See if we can get it up and over. Can hug the knees in and maybe get it up and over the other knee. So we're totally twisted, but we're engaging and strong here. A little compression. And play with hugging the knees even more. Using that leverage to get a little deeper. Inhale, back center, all the way over to the other side. Exhale as you press the elbow in. Gazing down the nose. See the tops of the fingers, see the tops of your cheeks. One more big inhale. And exhale, come back center. Release the legs down. And let's come onto our backs. Let's do a reclined pigeon. Start to finish up here. We'll bring the right ankle just above the left knee. Left foot is planted. And we interlace the fingers either behind the thigh or over the shin, depending on how much sensation we want in this right hip. So we'll give you another view. So behind the thigh gives us only so much. If we need a little more sensation, over the shin. And we can speed up the process here by engaging the hip. So press that right ankle back into the knee, even as we're pulling the knee towards us. So feel that strong hip activate. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One more, and we're not skimping on the exhale. That's what we usually end up truncating. Squeeze out a full exhale. And release that left foot down and slide the right knee right over the left knee. Pick up the hips, scooch them over the right, knees come down to the left. Palms facing up, chin rests over towards the right shoulder. So first, really relaxed, more passive twist here. We can start to let go and disengage. So notice if there's any tension left in the hip, or if you feel like you're holding the knees up a little bit, relax the muscles in the hip. Notice if you're pushing the floor away with your feet, let that go. Let the right shoulder settle down towards the floor. And press down into feet and hands to help lift the knees up, drawing the right hip back down into the floor. Uncross, scooch the hips back so we feel a straight spine. Left ankle just above the right knee. Hug it in, decide what feels best on this left hip. Are we interlacing behind the thigh? Or we need a little more, bring it over the shin. Close the eyes, bring those eyes up to the third eye. Travel deep into the left hip and see what is needed. See what the body is telling you, and even more important, what is the ego telling you? What little stories and thoughts are coming up? Press that left ankle deeply into the right knee. Feel the left hip engage. Stay there for a couple more breaths, just letting the thoughts be slippery. They come up, they slip by. Release the right leg down. Slide the left knee on top of the right. We'll lift the hips up, scooch them to the left a few inches. Knees come down to the right. Palms facing up. Chin rests over towards the left shoulder. Come right to the third eye. Eyes are closed. And with every exhale, imagine your muscles are softening a little bit more. Feel like you're releasing tension out through the pores, out through the fingertips. Sinking down into the floor a little more with each exhale. And press down into the hands and feet to lift the knees up, uncross, bring those hips back center. Bring the knees in towards the armpits for happy baby. The feet go straight up like you're standing on the ceiling, arms on the inside. And we can reach for shins, ankles, outside of feet, wherever you're at. Elbows can press into the shins or knees to draw the knees as wide as they'll go comfortably. We feel the right amount of sensation and a little pull on the feet, bringing the knees in closer. Chin slightly tucked, and sacrum, that bony triangle below the waistband just above the tailbone, is guiding down towards the floor. Eyes are closed again, coming to the third eye. Looking at that beautifully blank screen on the inside of the forehead. One more big breath here. And release the feet carefully, maybe help them land back down. Extend the legs, let the feet flop apart, palms facing up. Coming right into Shavasana. Just keep the eyes closed. Let the eyelids get heavy. The brow smooths. The jaw releases, allowing the teeth and the lips to separate. All the muscles are melting away from the bones, and the bones are settling more deeply into the floor. Notice all of the buzzing and tingling in the body. All the sensations of energy signals moving more freely now as you've opened up space. Stay in sensation, stay in the body. Let this video end and you stay there for at least 5 minutes. This is where all of the work you did gets integrated into the body, into muscle memory. Energy and signals that needed to be communicated across the body is now doing so. Let it do so. Let everything sink in. May we all be freed from the veils of illusion, free from fear, free from the whims of our ego. May we know what nourishes us and what depletes us. May we get to know our true spirit, our true essence, our brightest lights, so that we can live our highest good here in this life. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.